Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to
the show. We're set up here, Matt's backyard.
This is the balcony of
Yeah.
Matt, and basically we're going to be documenting our pre-season ahead of the 2021 WAFL season.
Yes.
We're hoping for a 20-round season next year.
Yeah, let's hope we can get it all in, but
I know that it was a bit disappointing when we heard there's only going to be a 9-round season this year, but obviously very grateful to even have
just
a
to get
season.
out there at all.
Yeah, so I guess we'll start off with sort of reflecting on the 2020 season for us.
See what went down.
It was Cooper's first year in the WAFL.
Being part of it anyway.
Being a part of it, yeah. He was part of the D squad. I know that it was an enjoyable experience for him. I'll let him talk about more of his first year.
Yeah, so I guess obviously first year up there in the D squad, I was very lucky enough to be, I guess, chosen to be part of that group there. So obviously the most part of it was just training and pre-season, I guess, with fitting into the whole group as a whole and sort of learning the ways that they train up there. Obviously it's a lot different to anything we've done down here. So just getting into the habit of, training twice a week. And obviously travelling up to Perth, 2 or 3 times a week for training. Then I did a few pre-season games up there as well. So.
Yeah. So after the pre-season finished, we were only training once a week up there.
Yeah.
How did you manage training down here on a Tuesday night, and then obviously going up there and training on a Monday night?
Yeah. So I guess obviously once COVID all hit, all the training stopped, and we're just giving jobs for training plans to do on our own. And then, I guess because of the COVID restrictions and numbers, we weren't going to train with the main WAFL group on their Tuesdays and Thursdays. So we got to train up with the Amateur Football League up there in Perth, and that was on the Monday nights.
Yeah.
So obviously it wasn't as full on or whatever as the WAFL training had been, but it was good to sort of, I guess, see some new people, new coaches, whatever, not, and sort of just broaden everything with new people. It was a great group of people down there anyway, so it was really, really enjoyable for myself. But obviously that was Monday nights. You just heard the resident dog.
Yeah, so during the break between March and July, basically, or August nearly, how did you manage the training? Like, obviously for a lot of it, we're only allowed to train with 2 people. How did you manage training by yourself and training with not a larger group of people?
Yeah,
preparing for the season.
I think leading into it when it all started, I think it was me, you and Jared.
Yeah.
We were training together down at Hands Oval down here at Bunbury, and doing the workouts that obviously they'd sent down from Perth. Yeah, and then I think after that they changed the rules so you couldn't go out with more than one person.
Yeah.
I think with COVID. So I know.
So during the 9-round season, you umpired between the WAFL, PSA, PFL
Football League.
What did you learn the most out of doing these sort of games in preparation for hopefully some Colts footy next year?
Well, I guess for the first couple of rounds of the PSA footy, which is the Perth, the Private Schools Association, we had some obviously match day coaching from some of the head coaches at WAFL. So obviously learning from them really set me up for the year, because for most of the other games we didn't have any obviously match day coaching. So obviously having them there for the first few sort of set us right for the year going forward, I feel. But I guess the most part of it as well is just learning how to deal with travelling up.
Yeah.
Travelling up 2 hours and having to umpire an hour and a half, 2 hour game. Yeah.
And then come home.
Yeah, so being able to sort of keep your body right, I guess, heading up there and then all that.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's your 2020
on
sort
to
of
you.
wrapped up. Okay. We'll move on to me then, I guess. So my season consisted of 4 reserves games and 5 Colts games during the regular season. These games obviously meant a lot more this year, considering it was only a 9-round season and every game mattered a bit more than it did last year or any year, because teams were so desperate to get those top 4 spots. I guess I enjoyed umpiring both games, although would have preferred some consistency in one grade. I got dropped a couple of times for things that I'd like to take back, things that weren't my fault at times, but you've got to control what you can control. And in the end, once finals came, I was 50-50 on whether I would actually even make it to the final series, and to get the first semi-final and the preliminary final to umpiring was a pretty special experience, especially the preliminary, considering it was my first. They were both ripping games, despite not being the closest. The semi-final was the only wet game I had for the year. And then obviously to get emergency for the Colts Grand Final was a pretty special experience. I guess obviously being involved on Grand Final day is something that I'll always look back on, because that chance might not come around again. So whether I was umpiring or not, just to even be on the side there, being involved in the game and being involved in the preparation and stuff like that was pretty special, really.
So I guess on that, obviously when you first found out that your name was going to be on the list for to be a part of that game, what was your first feelings about it all?
I was we had the meeting straight after prelim games were done, so I didn't really have much time to think about it. The prelim was at 12 in the afternoon, then I do that game, go straight to EJ and find out whether I'm doing a grand final or not. So obviously you try not to think about it while you're doing your game, but my coach told me that I couldn't have done much more on prelim day. I didn't make a mistake, so yeah, I guess when I found out that I was going to be involved, I was pretty stoked, and I was also really happy for the other 2 guys, especially Maddie, her first Colts Grand Final that she actually umpired in. So it was a pretty special day for her, and it was great to be there to support her along the day.
Beautiful stuff.
All right, I guess we'll move on to 2021.
Yeah, leading forward.
So we obviously just started the pre-season phase now. We've started our training, in preparation, individual, ahead of our team pre-season in January.
Yeah, not too far.
Yeah, so what's your main sort of goal for the off-season, and how do you want your body to sort of be when you head into the main season?
Yeah, so I guess leading into pre-season, there's nothing too huge for myself. It's just making sure I do have that basic fitness I can work on. So obviously you need to have something there to work on before you actually start, putting the work in. So I just want to make sure the body's in good shape, staying injury free as well. I don't want to get injured during pre-season or whatever, because then that throws your whole season off, really. Yeah. But just keeping myself leading into January anyway. Just trying to stay, I guess, get that basic little fitness up. Make sure I'm running a few Ks here and there.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Just making sure we're all good to actually start putting the work in. Yeah. January, February, and then so hopefully, once March hits around and we're really, starting to get ready that way.
Yeah, no, because
ready to go.
Obviously, it's going to be a longer season next year, so
you're
probably ready to hold yourself.
Yeah, it's going to be a long season, so we're going to have to make sure we get through it all. Yeah.
So I guess I'll ask you, what are your hopes in terms of the WAFL season? Do you like the 20-round season, or would you prefer like a shorter 18-round, 15-round season heading into finals?
No, I'm definitely happy with a 20-round season, because obviously it just means there's more opportunities to, show off. Well, not show off, but you know what I mean. Put your right foot forward, I guess. So obviously this year I've moved up from the development squad into the talent academy.
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously now my name's going to be up for selection for any Colts games that if they think I'm doing all right, give us a chance there. So obviously being a part of more part of the main group now, we'll be down there training with the big group. Yeah. So it just means I put the right foot forward, and then show what I can do. I can be consistent, I guess.
Yeah. So
yeah, obviously breaking into Colts. Hopefully get at least a Colts game during the season.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that'll set me happy for the season.
Do you have any hopes in terms of maybe doing a final or like a women's grand final or something like that?
That's even doing like the women's league for maybe like through the final season.
Yeah.
So I did a few women's league last year during the normal season. But,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean a few games here and there. It would mean a lot.
Yeah.
Sort of cap off a good season. But
yeah.
Yeah. See what happens.
Yeah. Cool.
Yes.
Well,
what's your what do you want to see yourself doing? I guess through the preseason and leading into the
well,
main
I guess
training?
into preseason, I went down on my time trial last year from the year before, so I want to
again.
So I want to work harder to get a time that I'm happy with and a time that's good enough to give me some consistent football, because I know how highly they look at that through the season. I guess in terms of the pre-season, it's just staying motivated, training twice a week, going for runs when you can, going to the gym when you can.
Just trying to stick with the ball, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And then I guess for the season, like, obviously a 20-round season is ideal. It gives everyone more chances, and hopefully West Coast can bring in a league team. Hopefully Peel can bring back their reserves team, so that we've got more chances in reserves and league and Colts football for umpires. So I guess obviously a personal goal is to umpire a league game this season. I know that won't come easy, but I got to become consistent in reserves to do that. So I guess getting through the first few rounds 1, 2 and 3 in reserves, and then trying to really make a push.
Yeah, man, that's it. As long as you're like knocking on the door anyway. They know you're waiting for your opportunity.
Yeah, and then obviously when the final series comes, I'd love to take that one step up from the emergency spot, and hopefully grab a spot out on the field. But
the grand final.
Yeah, but that's still a long way away.
Yeah,
so
that's it.
You've just got to focus on what's ahead of you. Right now, the pre-season phase, you just got to focus on staying motivated, getting ready for what's going to be a pretty incredible season. The first one that's back to semi-normal, hopefully.
Twice the length of this year. So
hopefully crowds are allowed back, like full capacity crowds are allowed.
Yeah, that'd be good to see.
And hopefully the WAFL gains more fans and
more attendance and I guess exposure to the league.
Yeah. Well, I guess we might wrap it up there.
Yeah, we'll leave it there for next time, eh?
We'll be back next week with a new, fresh,
whole new
updated, new stuff.
New buddy.
new buddy. And I guess we'll just continue to document our.
So it's almost gonna be like more, I guess, almost progress reporting as we head along with it and see, whatever changes and whatnot.
And then hopefully we can look at this in a year's time and we can see.
A bit of a time capsule.
See where we've come and
for us
stuff
to
like
look
that.
back on.
All right. We'll see you later, future selves.
See you, boss.